Good morning. It's Thursday, and it's Second Corinthians 4, chapter 4, 13 and 4 to 15. And you may want to read back up in Second Corinthians because this is that wonderful passage of having this treasure in clay jars, right? That despite the fact that we are these broken, finite, at times sinful creatures, trying sometimes and not trying, sometimes doing the best we can, not always getting there. In spite of all that, God gives us grace. And what would we do? Who would we be? How would we live without the grace of God? Grace we talk about as being unmerited favor, as being is something we can never earn. It's a gracious gift of God. But I like to think of grace as God's love that meets us wherever we are. So if we need to grow, that grace is at work trying to help us grow. If we need to be forgiven or to forgive someone, that grace is at work trying to move us in that direction. Whatever God knows is sort of the next step in our journey of faith, that grace is at work. But you know what? I, you, all of us have to open ourselves to receive that grace. We can, like Pharaoh, harden our heart and just let that grace bounce off. We are not going to receive it. Because sometimes grace is painful. Sometimes it's overwhelmingly joyous. But sometimes it's painful to realize I have got to forgive so and so. But of course, when we receive God's grace, we are able to live more deeply and richly. We are closer to God. Our spirit is more alive within us. It's it's just this beautiful thing. And because grace is a gift, we should always be extending it to others, letting grace flow through us. Might be tricky, might be easier than we really think. So, our question today is, how do I extend God's grace? I'm thankful for the grace of God working in me, but now how do I share that gift of grace with others? Maybe think about one specific way you do or you could share God's grace to others.